Thank you for listening to Discovering the Scriptures with Dr. Peter John. Right now we're in Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. And if you haven't figured it out by now, we're in the last days, end times prophecies that Daniel is still writing in the court's language, the Babylonian language, not the language of the Jews, the Hebrew. He's writing in Aramaic. Still, he writes from early on in his book all the way through the end of this chapter. Why? Let's find out. Let's continue. Daniel 7 verse 23, King James Version, quote, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces." Unquote. Now let's look at this at another worthy translation to study, not to just casually read through. Young's Literal Translation, quote, "Thus he said, the fourth beast is the fourth kingdom in the earth, that is diverse from all kingdoms, and it consumeth all the earth, and treadeth it down, and breaketh it small." Unquote. Now, I want to point out something here. This verse says the fourth kingdom in the earth. Now, you know as well as I know, there's been many kingdoms on the earth before Daniel wrote this. And Daniel's seen several. So, why is it that God is only calling this the fourth kingdom in the earth? Well, when you go over to the book of Matthew and the book of Luke, and you're looking at the generations of Jesus' background, grandfather, great-grandfather, etc., etc., it goes 14 generations, and we know for a fact that there are more generations. So why is it only counting 14? I'm starting to wonder if all we're counting here is what is important, so that you don't lose track of what is happening and what's important and why. So I'm starting to wonder about this. We're going to, of course, address this more and more as we go through this, but this is something that I have remembered because I've read the Bible over 40 times, well over 40 times, and I'm kind of wondering, this numbering system, this is not the fourth kingdom, but in here, in this vision, it is the fourth kingdom. So let's try to keep things in perspective. We're not trying to renumber or lie or anything else. We're looking at this vision Daniel is having awake. Okay, now let's remember that Daniel had a vision back in Daniel 2:40. Also, I'm going to read it to you. "Finally, there was a fourth kingdom, as strong as iron. For iron shatters, crushes, pulverizes all things. And like iron that crushes and pulverizes all things, it will shatter to pieces and crush all the others." That's a paraphrase. Mine, actually. And now we have this being talked about, but we have to look at this in context before we go any further, because we want to study this properly. So let's take a look at this. This paragraph is Daniel 7:23 all the way to 7:27. Reading from the King James Bible, quote, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from all the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times. But the judgment shall set, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." Unquote. So again, let's look at the one we're looking at right now. Daniel 7, verse 23, quote, "Thus he said, The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces, unquote. We are talking about the last ruler, the last kingdom on earth. In this vision, and it appears to be the last period. So this is very important that we take a look at this and see what we can get out of it. When you break this down in the Aramaic and you take a look at it as you parse it out from the original language, this is what we have. Thus. Well, thus is an adjective. It's masculine, it's plural, and it is absolute. He said. That is a verb. It's a PL stem. So they're basically simply making a perfect, absolute usage of the word. Nothing great here. It's not passive. It's not showing anything. Maybe action. That's about it. The fourth beast. Well, let's look at this beast. It's a noun. It's common. It's feminine. It's singular. And it's determinate. Well, we know that it's not God then, because it's saying beast and it's saying feminine. And God is masculine. And everything we've had so far. And the only kind of breakage down of this word in Aramaic can be down as beast or animal. So we're going down with beast, shall be. Let's break that down. It's a verb, it's PL, stem, it's imperfect, third person, feminine, singular. Okay, so no great big deal here. The fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse. Let's look at that. It's a verb, it's PL, stem, imperfect, third person, feminine, singular. Nothing great here. From, and that is just a preposition, no big deal there. All kingdoms shall devour. It's just a conjunction. It doesn't really have much here for us. The whole earth, and shall tread it down. Let's look at it, and shall tread it down. Conjunction. He's not really giving us much there. And break it in pieces as far as the style of writing. It's a conjunction again. So we don't have really much there either. But when we go to the Interlineal Bible and we look at this, remember the raw translation. It says shall be, and here is the clue. Shall be has been written down. It's a verb. It's quail. Remember with quail, it's a passive writing. So he's just writing down what he saw. It's an imperfect third person feminine singular. So he's writing down what he saw. A fourth kingdom, the fourth beast, he said, another quail, thus and shall be delivered, another quail. Kingdoms, all, from, shall be, quail again, which on earth, and break in pieces, Hyphael. So that's telling us that this is something that was going to be like a process. And trample it, quail again, the earth whole. So Daniel is passively writing this down. He's seen it. In my opinion, he's had time to contemplate on it. He's writing down what God's given him. Does he understand it all? Maybe not. But he's had time to go ahead and go, okay, I'm going to obey. I'm going to write this down. Maybe I get it. Maybe I don't. Only he knows. But he's passively writing this down. It's not something that he is real excited about, all worked up about. He's writing down the facts as he saw them. Okay, I'm going to read John Gill's commentary on this. Remember, he uses commentaries that are about 1,000 years old, things that we don't even have today. I'm going to read this to you. Quote, thus he said, the person that stood by, the angel of whom Daniel made his inquiries, and who answered him as follows. The fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom on earth, which shows the angel by 4 kings. And that we see in Daniel 7, verse 17. And I'm going to read that for you in the King James Version. Quote, these great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Unquote. Back to John Gill. Meant 4 kingdoms that should successively arise in the earth, and out of it one after another. And this kingdom is not the kingdom of the Turks, but the Roman Empire. for this is to continue until the kingdom of Christ takes place. See Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. I'm going to read that for you. Quote, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay, unquote. So let's go back to this now. John Gill. Which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, from the kingdoms and the monarchs that were before it, particularly as a kingdom in its form of government, both when pagan and when papal. See again Daniel 7:7, which we read. And shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces, not the whole land of Judah only, as some read and interpret it, but the whole world. While the Romans became masters of it, and phrases used to denote the destruction and desolation they made, wherever they carried their arms, and the cruelty and tyranny they exercised, and the vast profusion of blood made by them, both among the heathens they subdued and the Christians they persecuted. Unquote. Okay, that's John Gill's thoughts and commentaries on this. Is it the Roman Empire? Is it the popes? Well, yeah, the popes have worn down Christians considerably, because we're always having to try to explain this garbage that comes out of there. And I'm going to just put it down bluntly, people. Garbage. I've read and heard so many things that the popes are faultless. They're next to God. How many times have the popes been wrong? How many times have they allowed priests to molest our young boys? They're not next to God. They're not so in saintly that they can't make mistakes. They come out with wrong doctrine. There's so many things that persecuted my family, who were Huguenots, French Huguenots, chased them out of France so they can get their lands and their belongings. So I'm not for Pope John. He had a lot of problems, especially when he let those priests stay in there who had molested those boys and continued on. He had a strong stance. And, there's some good things to every person, including popes. But they're not God's person standing next to him. They're men who make mistakes. And it's not marrying. That's just garbage. 1400s is when that took place. So I'm not for Rome at all. I'm not for the popes at all. Never will be, never have been. But is it them? I don't know. Will they wear down the saints? Yes, they do. But is it them? I don't know. What do you think? I'm not here to tell you. I'm here to present the evidence. Let you make your decision. John Gill thought it was. He's right about it. He writes about it all the time. Is he? And remember, he's the one that wrote the commentary, verse by verse, to the entire Bible. Is he right? One way to find out for sure is to continue listening. We're going to go through this. We're going through it, verse by verse. Continuing on. I'm now in a position in my life where I can continue on this ministry every day, every day, every day. If you want to find out more, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell button, and they will let you know when more comes up. Be a witness unto Jesus. Fulfill the Great Commission. Tell others about this ministry so they can hear, they can learn the Bible, they can go through it. And let's find out. Now remember to keep me in your prayers. Keep this ministry in your prayers. Please help continue to support it. If you cannot support it, and no one has since I started this financially, but if you want to, go ahead and click on all the buttons for the ads on my channel when you see it, and come back into it. Click back on this and then hit the ads, and that will give me a stipend. I make right now about $440 a month. Fortunately, I've changed my career so I can go ahead and spend some more time in this. So please help out if you can, especially in your prayers. That would be wonderful, but definitely tell others. God bless, and you have a great day.